Wrestling. I am your host, Tony. Hello, everybody. You know the drill by now. Today I am joined by the almighty Shazam, apparently. Shazam, sorry, not Shaman.
Woo!
AKA John. And well, you see it on the screen. His name is Pedro today. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
We're gonna go through these shows pretty quickly. We'll get our predictions in at the end of the show for Revolution. That starts off at 8 o'clock Eastern time. They got one match announced for their 0 hour that's starting at 7, but we'll get into that too. We're gonna dive right into Raw though. This is gonna be a little different than what everybody that's watching it whenever point is used to. So I'm just gonna run through this real quick and then get thoughts on the whole show. So Raw started with, we had Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso actually teamed together since Jey Uso's not showing up with his brother pretty much to face the Street Profits in what was a really good tag team match. I wouldn't say it was as great as what you'd usually see Jimmy and Jay put together tag team wise, but still Solo was a good replacement, so as to speak, in this match. In the end, we see Solo actually get the Samoan Spike on Angelo Dawkins to end the tag team match. I'm not going to go over a whole lot of the promos. I mean, we got Brock Lesnar out there. And he came out before the VIP segment actually was supposed to begin. Had his little talk with MVP, who Brock offered a drink out of his flask to, and MVP took a drink of it, but instead of swallowing, decided to spit the contents out onto Brock Lesnar's face. Brock had earlier in the segment mentioned there'd be no suplexes during the VIP lounge. Well, he never said nothing about an F5, and that's exactly what MVP felt was an F, as Brock officially accepted the offer to face Omos at WrestleMania. Vince McMahon all over this one, I feel. Who doesn't? You had, I would say, probably the match of the night that happened next. You got Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable, and man, Gable still, I can't gush about him enough really over the last month or so. Really since Triple H took over, honestly. They've shown Gable more, I think, than what Vince did, even as a tag team guy. In the end, of course, Otis, who was out there with Gable, gets distracted, looking for Maxine Dupree, who wasn't actually out there. But Cody kind of does a little distraction there, and Chad Gable is wondering what's going on. And Chad ends up eating the Crossroads. Yes, Otis. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. That's all I ask.
Yeah, Otis. Then we got a Cody Rhodes segment mentioning that he was happy to hear that Roman was going to be on SmackDown because he too would be appearing on SmackDown. We'll get to that. Baron Corbin had a backstage segment that got interrupted because Kevin Owens had showed up and all that fun stuff. Corbin's going nowhere, so you can tell that much. Then we get into Asuka and Carmella. Carmella got a decent amount of offense in this match, I felt like, more than what I thought she would. But still, in the end, Asuka did get the win with the new Asuka lock, which looks like it's a very devastating submission hold. Like I mentioned last week, I compared it to the Rings of Saturn almost in a way. Piper Niven faced Candice LeRae in a match. Nikki Cross was actually out there with Candice, and that paid dividends for Candice. because Nikki caused the distraction and Candice was able to roll up by Pittman to get a shocking win. One of her rare wins since she's returned to WWE. You can go from that to Johnny Gargano backstage and get interrupted by Judgment Day. Johnny had a match, which we'll get into, against Otis. But they've been doing that. Finn Balor challenged Johnny to face him next week on Raw, which will be a rematch that's happened in NXT before. So it'll be nice to see Johnny wrestling and the Prince go at it one-on-one this coming Monday. Then you go into the segment that might get a little more talking from Miz TV. And Miz announces his big announcement from his surprise gift from Maurice for their anniversary last week. The WrestleMania host, which was none other than, of course, the Miz himself. So, I know, right?
That's so not awesome.
Yeah. No, it's not. I agree. But luckily, as the Miz is boasting about how he's going to make this 2-night event so awesome, Seth freaking Rollins comes out to rain on his parade. Yes, we get to see. And, well, Miz didn't like how things ended because Seth tried talking Miz into calling Logan Paul and trying to get him on the phone to talk to Seth. Well, Miz didn't want nothing to do with it, but Miz caught a super kick. Seth grabbed Miz's phone, actually took Miz's phone and took Miz's face to use Miz's face to open the phone up. That was unique. And then Seth dialed the phone to talk to Logan Paul, and you could tell the camera angle that they had. He must have had a camera of some sort in his sunglasses with the way that you see the camera or the phone in Seth's hand too. That's what a lot of people were saying. Something unique. Interesting little conversation that Seth and Logan Paul would then have, as Logan was via FaceTime. Logan got invited to come to Raw this next week, and Logan actually accepted, and Seth was more than happy about it. But of course, Seth had to end the segment with a "bye-bye, bitch" before he hung up on Logan Paul. And then he drops the phone, and Miz, like a dumbass, crawls towards the phone and eats yet another curb stomp from Seth freaking Rollins. I'm wondering if there might be a different finisher that Miz eats at WrestleMania being the host, but we'll see. We go from there. You got Bobby Lashley and his. Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. Got Bobby Lashley in the squash match beating Elias, who got a very small amount of offense in there. They're showing Bobby as the beast, as they should be. Then you get Bray Wyatt with the Muscle Man dance, including Bobby Lashley's whole former gimmick that he's had in that video. Not a huge fan of how things are going with that so far, but we'll see where things go. Then you go into Otis versus Johnny Gargano, which was a pretty decent match. Maximum Male Models out there with Otis, which kind of cost him in the end. They tried getting involved, and Dexter Lumis pops up out of the crowd again as a security guard to try and kidnap Massey, leading into Otis getting one final beat on the ring apron, and then the traditional one final beat in the ring as Johnny Gargano picked up a big win over Otis. I feel like Johnny Gargano is starting to go in a much better direction since Elimination Chamber, to be honest, here on Monday nights.
Yeah.
I'm liking how they're going. We talked about ad nauseum pretty much how Johnny wasn't being displayed all that well at all since he returned up until Elimination Chamber. And now he's finally starting to get a little bit of a rhythm going, I think.
Put Woody up there.
Yeah.
From there, of course, you had Kathy Kelly talk to Paul Heyman backstage, Paul mentioning how Cody was coming to a SmackDown and it was going to be an invasion. It was going to be a face-to-face, or one of them was going to confront the other anyways. Then we go into the main event, which would be between this one and the Cody and Chad Gable match. I'd say those two are the two top matches of the show. Becky Lynch and, of course, the Hall of Famer Lita facing Dakota Kai and Io Sky with Bayley in their corner for the tag team titles. Of course, during this match, we get the return of WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, as Bayley had gotten involved one too many times, and Trish comes running out with her music still playing, hits a Luthez press, and starts beating up on Bayley. And I was so happy we got to see his chip kick as well from Trish on Bayley. But in
And of
and
all places, in Grand Rapids,
I
Michigan.
know, right?
I know, right?
No.
We weren't there, unfortunately.
She's like, I can't.
It was perfect. Of course, Lita gets the win with the Lita Salt to Io
And
Sky
then you're thinking this would work.
after Io for the over the moon spot. The distractions kind of
I
cost
agree with
huge control, of
That's
course.
what
There.
I feel when I'm not
And you get
working.
the
Oh my God.
reunion of Trish and Lita and Becky celebrating as the
It's
show.
like, no, today's Monday. Oh, okay, never mind.
So, what are you guys' thoughts on Raw? Anything specific that stuck out to you?
Definitely Trish Stratus. That one made me happy. I'm like, my childhood is reviewed again.
Right?
Yeah.
I was starting to wonder if that was actually going to happen or what was going on after last week, especially.
Yeah. And the other one was Seth Rollins saying, bye-bye,
I met
bitch.
her in person.
That one. I swear to God, I hope that becomes a t-shirt.
I can see that.
And I will buy that because I will be like, yo, I got to get that because I say that to a lot of people anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. Damn it, Seth, you stole my gimmick.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 2001, I met Trish at Madison Square Garden and I forgot my name.
Yeah, he forgot his name.
I don't blame you. To be honest.
My wife was there and she said, your name is Eddie. I said, it is? Oh my God. You know?
It was funny. I wish I
Yeah.
had a picture of that.
She's in the call with us, so she just wanted to say hi to you guys.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Trina?
Hey.
Yeah, she's like, Eddie, your name is Eddie. I said, it is. And Trish had that low cut black shirt she used to wear. And I was like, damn, I want.
You want to suck them?
I'll be like, I want to go to like her playhouse.
You want to go to the big playground?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that were the only two segments that were good. I mean, and the women's tag team titles were good, but I don't know. Raw was a little lackluster. You know, it wasn't like a pop. And the thing with Brock Lesnar, with Omos or whatever he calls him, I wish they would have did better because there've been rumors that at the Mania this is Rock's last run,
That's what I've heard too. Yeah.
and I feel like if you don't make Omos is not really. He's like the second coming of the Great Khali.
Agreed.
And you could put what's his name in the guy from AEW that's with Jeff Jarrett right now.
Let him sing.
Yeah, put him in the match with Brock Lesnar. You know, because I know I'm not saying Omos is he's green. I mean, they put a world title on me like, oh my God, why is the Great Khali booking matches for WWE now?
Right.
You know, that's my opinion. Raw wasn't something, comedy-wise, it was fun to see Otis transform into Otis. You know, I can't wait to see what they're going to put on him. But other than that, it wasn't a good. I give Raw maybe 3 out of 5.
Fair.
I don't know what your guys rating it, but I think it's a 3 out of 5 because, you're on the road to WrestleMania. Step up your game.
I'd agree. Honestly, I'd agree. They need bigger shows.
WrestleMania. Believe me, I've been to a lot of WrestleManias. I've been to the first 10 WrestleManias. I know how it is. WrestleMania is something you go to and you want to experience it. But with a card that we're having for 2 nights, I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to piece together an event. You can't do that. And you have to have Sami Zayn involved in something. Because if you don't have Sami Zayn involved in something, he should be in the world title match. No offense. Sami Zayn is the future. You know, you got to break up the titles because I'm getting tired of these titles being on one person. Break them up and, you know, start having world title matches on Raw because you look at this. If you look at it, it has been all the title matches have been more on SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but yeah, it's a 3 out of 5 for me.
Fair.
All right.
Yeah,
So I like the comedic of the matches, especially with Cody Rhodes getting involved and making Otis think that it's Gable behind him when it's really Cody. And then his reaction is hilarious. And then you gotta love when Dexter Lumis just tries to kidnap people.
I know, right?
Classic TV. I gotta agree with Eddie though. For being on the road to Mania, it was not a good show. I would probably give it about a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we did have 5, I'd probably say about 3 as well. Definitely need a bigger show. I know they're still 4 weeks out, but still, we should know more about WrestleMania than what we do at this point, in my opinion. I mean, they haven't even said anything about the Hall of Fame, for that matter, to put that up.
I was just about to say something.
Yeah.
By now, we usually know like 2 people at least going in the Hall of Fame, but from what I heard, there hasn't even been talks really internally about the Hall of Fame, so who knows if there'll actually be one this year.
So in other words, Bautista.
Yeah, and they're selling tickets for it. Like, okay, so hey, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Be a 5-minute speech.
Well, if they do the Hall of Fame again, it'll be right after SmackDown the night before WrestleMania Night 1 again.
Yeah.
So.
And then
Hall
also,
of Fame. Going to the Hall of Fame is the WWE Universe. We did it. Okay, end of show.
I'm about it too.
I still think Miss Elizabeth should go in the Hall of Fame, but you know that's just me.
Not just you, I'd agree.
I agree.
Moving
with that,
on, though.
too.
Move on to NXT. I don't write down promo stuff from there because they're not quite as important usually on NXT. They had some really good matches.
I don't even...
Yeah. Oh, Eddie froze up. Anyway, it was interesting how NXT started with everybody trying to climb over each other, just about to try and get out to the ring to meet Wes Lee in the open challenge for the North American Championship. It was a little bit surprising, and I did like how Nathan Frazier actually jumped over a couple of guys there through the entranceway to actually get in the match, and I felt like Nathan Frazier and Wes Lee actually had a match to kick off NXT the champ. I've seen NXT UK, and he's been in NXT a little while now, but he is a pupil of Seth freaking Rollins. He went to Seth's school and got trained there. So you can definitely tell that from some of the moves that he uses, because he does some Seth Rollins-like moves. And I've been very impressed by Nathan Frazier in his NXT run, even though he's been gone for like the last 4 or 5 months with an injury. But in the end, Wes Lee did pick up the win. I still think we're probably heading towards a triple threat match at NXT Stand and Deliver between Wes Lee defending that North American title against Tony D'Angelo and Dijak, especially since those 2 kind of took each other out again. But as other people did as well. Melee. We move on from there. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen went against Indus Sher in pretty much a one-sided affair, as you'd probably figure. Indus Sher got the win. Nico Satomura faced Zoe Stark. Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, was on commentary. These two had a really good match for a female match in NXT. I mean, not to say that they don't that often, but a lot of times lately it seems like they haven't been that great because so many of them have been newer. But
Right.
Nico and Zoe had a very, very good match here. In the end, Meiko Satomura did pick up the win going into her match this upcoming week on NXT. I just drew a blank on the name. Roadblock, yes. Against Roxanne Perez for the title, women's title. Case in point for what I just mentioned, how the women's matches haven't always been that great. The next match we got, no offense, but Sol Ruca and Elektra Lopez had kind of a thunker, if you will. After you just see Nico and Zoe put on a clinic, and then we go into Sol Ruca and Elektra Lopez, who a clunker is what I was trying to say there. Wasn't all that great. I mean, Valentina Froze was out there as well, and she had the brass knucks away from Elektra, who was trying to use them, and she ate the Soul Snatcher, which is an outstanding finisher. But there wasn't much else to mention for that match. So Ruka got the win. Kind of Chance with Kate Carter had a match against Tiffany Stratton. Another not that great of a match, honestly. Tiffany Stratton picked up the win after some distractions. And Axiom beat Hank Walker in a pretty noteworthy match. Axiom, of course, the former A-Kid, who they've been kind of hinting at lately. So I'm almost wondering if they might go back to him going to A-Kid at some point.
I hope not.
No?
I like him better as Axiom.
Yeah, it could be. We'll see. And then, of course, you go into the main event, which to me was the match of the night. Carmelo Hayes and Tyler Bate, who tore the house down. Of course, Trick Williams out there with Mello, pays dividends as usual. In the end, Carmelo hits the scissors kick off the top rope to get the 1-2-3 over the big strong boy. So that was that for NXT. As Carmelo's still looking to go on and face Braun Breaker, I have a feeling at. Although I almost wonder if it'll be just one-on-one in a way, but I think Grayson Waller's going to have his hands full with somebody else. So.
Oh yeah, I see Shawn Michaels getting involved.
Shawn Michaels, and I mentioned to John how the rumor has it Shawn Michaels is going to have an opponent set for Grayson Waller at NXT Stand and Deliver.
Oh, hopefully it's not
off
X-Pac.
of what happens during the No, it won't be X-Pac. It's rumored to be a debuting superstar for NXT.
Oh, what's the name of that Mexican superstar that they signed?
Dragon Lee.
Or Jay White.
Hey, that'd be interesting too if that happened. We'll see. Anything you guys want to mention about NXT before I move on?
Yes.
The only thing I liked about NXT was Gigi Dolan, so that's good.
Hey. You do not say
hey, that was a great
girl's name
Yeah, it was.
in front of me. That's one of my 2 NXTs, okay?
Sorry about it. I like her too, man. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye, bitch.
Of course, even though it was the match of the night, of course Tony's going to say it is because it's got Carmelo Hayes in it. We know how Tony is about Mello.
Yeah.
But let's just be realistic.
He's a future.
NXT is terrible without Nikita Lyons.
Oh, come on.
I think it's time.
Wow, John. Really?
I think it's time for Carmelo Hayes to go up to the main roster.
Him and Zoe Stark both.
I think Mello deserves a title run first before he goes up, but
He had a title run.
an NXT title run, championship run,
You didn't
not a North
specify.
American title run. Yeah,
Well, he was the A champion.
There he was. Twice. All right. Moving along. You got AEW Dynamite, as the show will be AEW heavy. The show started off with Orange Cassidy defending the All Atlantic Championship against Big Bill with Stokely Hathaway. Of course, Big Bill, as we know him, Big Cass, Colin Cassidy. I think this was Big Bill's actually best showing since he came to AEW, in my opinion, in this match. It took 3 orange punches for Orange Cassidy to win, and the third one was off the top rope. So that tells you something for Big Bill. That shows something for Big Bill, in my opinion. They need to get him away from the firm, though, and kind of use him more as a monster, so as to speak, I feel like, instead of just being a lapdog, pretty much, for Stokely Hathaway in the firm.
To me, I think he needs a manager that will say, "How you doing?"
Yeah, I don't know if they'll bring Enzo in, but
I wish they would.
Tony, you need to calm down. You acting like a cup of haters. A cup of haters.
Yeah.
well, he's kind of brought it on himself that a lot of companies don't really want much to do with him. So
That's because they soft.
that's the WFT.
That.
Oh,
There you go. All right. From there they go in to the Elite, start to come out. We get the beginning parts of their theme song, and they show them, and then the lights go out. House of Black appear. Lights go back out. You hear some fumbling around. Come back on. The Elite's been laid out, and the House of Black have abducted, so as to speak, the AEW Trios titles. We'll get more on that later. Move on from there, you get the ladder match, the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz brawl all the way to the back very early on in this match, so they're non-factors in this match. You got Powerhouse Hobbs, AR Fox, Commander, Konosuke Takeshita, Action Andretti, and Sammy Guevara that were part of the entire match. It was a really good ladder match, I felt like. But I kind of have to agree with what I've seen from a lot of people online when it comes to the finish of this match. It didn't look that great when you have 3 or 4 referees holding down the ladder for Powerhouse Hobbs to climb up to it, up the ladder to get the golden ring to pull it down, when he could have very easily gone out and grabbed another ladder instead of using that warped ladder.
where's the fun in that?
I'm all for keeping the performers safe, but still, you shouldn't need 4 referees to hold a obviously broken ladder when you got so many other ladders inside the
I
ring.
know, but we have another one.
Where is it?
All the way in the back of the sink.
Okay.
You had some amazing spots in there. Honestly, one of my favorite spots in there was by the new guy, Commander, when he went up the ropes and ran right across it and then leaped over onto everybody on the outside. That spot stuck out the most to me in that match. And that's for somebody new that I'd never seen him before, but I was impressed by him in that match. Joe was on commentary for that. Of course, afterwards, Powerhouse Hobbs starts going up about halfway up the ramp, and Wardlow comes out. Security guards come out. Wardlow decimates the security guards as usual as Joe leaves, and Powerhouse Hobbs sits him up. As Powerhouse Hobbs will face the winner of Joe and Wardlow next week on Dynamite for the TNT Championship. Renee's backstage with best friends Orange Cassidy and Danhausen in the trainer's room. Orange has got injured ribs from earlier, but Orange and Danhausen announced that they'll be taking Trent and Chuck's place in the Battle Royal at the end of the night. Trent and Chuck are not medically cleared. From there, we get Pretty Peter Avalon versus Chris Jericho. Peter got a little bit of offense in here, more than what I thought he would, but Jericho only needed one move. It's a fact. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Of course, he goes after Peter Avalon with his Bat Floyd until Ricky Starks comes out. And then Jake Hager and Daniel Garcia come out, and the 3 members of JAS give Ricky quite the beating. We go in. I'm going to skip the Hangman segment because that wasn't important. Renee talks to Christian Cage. And you get Jack Perry, a video of him digging a hole. And we'll get more into what exactly that means, but you obviously could tell what he was leaning towards, as it will be Christian Cage versus Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, tonight at Revolution. Like I said, we'll get more into that at Rampage. Tony Schiavone caught up with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. They mentioned the women's match coming up later, and they'll be watching and they'll be keeping an eye out on Saraya. Matt Hardy went against Hook for the FTW Championship. Matt looked pretty good here against Hook. Hook is still undefeated. Funny thing here was Matt Hardy had made the comment before the match, and the stipulation was if Matt Hardy lost, then Hook gets Stokely Hathaway one-on-one in a no disqualification match with the rest of the firm barred from ringside. You notice Hook managed to get his hooks in, so as to speak, Matt Hardy, and got him in the red rum. See how quick Matt Hardy tapped out?
Yeah, I did.
And then that grin on Matt Hardy's face afterwards. You knew exactly what he was doing. Matt's looking for a little bit of revenge. Then we go back and you get a House of Black segment. They talk about the trios title match coming up, and they left the belts there for the Elite to come and gather. Then we go into Toni Storm versus Riho, and a pretty good women's match for AEW standards. Saraya did get a little bit involved at times, so Jamie and Britt did come out to try and even that up. Cause a little distraction in the end. Toni Storm gets rolled up, and Riho gets the 1, 2, 3. Probably her biggest win in quite some time, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Former women's champions, both of them, of course. And then you get the brawl between those ladies, and Ruby Soho comes out, kind of just adjusted that she's not in the title. So, full apart brawl there. So then we go into the main event, the Casino Tag Team Battle Royale. Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Dark Order are the first ones to come out, but they get jumped from behind by the new, now heel, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. Actually, no, I think that was the other way around. They got jumped, wasn't it? No, I was right. Okay, that was on Rampage. Never mind. But yeah, those two start off the match. You got Roosh and Preston Vance come out next. Penta and Ray Phoenix then out, and then Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, Aussie Open. Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. Got Top Flight, The Kingdom, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, and then Butcher and Blade. It came down to Butcher, Blade, Danhausen, and Orange Cassidy were the last two teams in. Butcher and Blade kind of set it up for the elimination as they stood on the ropes and helped Danhausen dump them both over the top to get the win for Danhausen and Orange Cassidy to go on to the Fatal 4-Way match for the tag team titles tonight.
How predictable.
I know, right? It wasn't the best friends that we thought it would be, but it was some of the two members of that faction. So
yeah.
And then you get, in my opinion, the best part of the entire night. Renee Paquette starts talking to him, but they gave Bryan Danielson a live mic and just let him shoot from the hip is what it felt like to me here. And even MJF comes out to try and interrupt, and Bryan just stops him in his tracks. The comment about how MJF deserved exactly what he got from his fiance leaving him. Damn. But Bryan laid some truths out in that segment, and it made me even more hyped for this main event coming up. I mean, you got to be pretty hyped for a 60-minute Iron Man match in the first place, but this match has gotten really personal over the last 2 weeks, I feel like, especially in Dynamite. This rivalry has. So
It
it'll be
kinda-
interesting to see how it goes.
It kind of reminds me of the whole build-up from Rollins and Riddle.
Yeah, that is a good comparison. That is a very good comparison. All right. So for Dynamite, if I was to do out of 5, I probably wouldn't do much more than 3.5, though, really, either, because the matches were all right, but they weren't. There wasn't nothing spectacular like what we've seen at times on Dynamites lately. So I'll do 3.25, really, 3.25 out of 5. You say 2 out of 5?
Say 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. Fair. What do you got? Any take?
So the Dynamite before Revolution, lackluster. Didn't really build towards a pay-per-view where you're trying to sell it and all that. And yes, you can still do the same thing, but you know, the Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, I love them guys. They really know what they're doing. But what about the Butcher and Blade? They deserve to get a tag team title shot. You know, you got other
Honestly,
teams
would like to
that,
see the Kingdom in it, but
you know, and the thing with Saraya and Jamie Hayter, I feel like Tony Khan's gonna do a swerve, and Jamie Hayter might lose the title.
yeah, we'll get into that shortly.
And so I give AEW Dynamite a 1.5.
Oh,
Damn!
Tony
I
Khan has
question
to
real
stop
quick.
going with WWE established wrestlers.
All right,
I'd agree.
Eddie. What's got the better rating? The AEW Dynamite Revolution Go Home show, or that new Pizza Hut pizza that's supposedly the Big New Yorker?
I had the Big New Yorker. It tasted like poop. Don't get me started on that Big New Yorker. If Pizza Hut, and I know we're not a sponsor, thank God, because I think you will lose it. If you're gonna basically say it's a Big New Yorker pizza, but God damn it, make it taste like one.
Well,
Don't make it taste like Pizza Hut with I mean, if I read it, and I know I'm going to say this is going to hurt people, but I'd rather have tater tots from Domino's Pizza than eat that garbage that they call a New York slice of pizza, a Big New Yorker. Yeah, I got your Big New Yorker somewhere else.
Woo!
And I know my man, I know you're trying to keep your show clean, but no, don't talk about that Big New Yorker because it's not a Big New Yorker.
semi-clean, not fully clean.
Yeah, I know, I got you.
All right. Moving along from that randomness, Friday Night SmackDown. You get the show starts off with what's left of the feeling Usi shirt there. What's left of the bloodline.
Hey, it's still Usi. I love it.
You got the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, one half of the undisputed tag team champions Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa coming out to the ring. Roman tells the crowd to acknowledge him, and no more than gets those words out, we get Cody Rhodes' theme song. Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Something Cody Rhodes.
In my soul, something Cody Rhodes.
So you get Cody out there, and Cody mentions Roman. Well, he's out there for face-to-face, but does Roman really need his 2 lackeys, so as to speak, out there with him, or 3, if you will? And Roman actually tells Paul to leave, to take Jimmy, and to take Solo with him. So we actually get this very first ever confrontation between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes one-on-one. Roman decides then, after those 3 leave, to lay down both the WWE and the Universal Championships in between himself and Cody. One thing that somebody did mention, I noticed on social media, was that the WWE title was turned facing towards Cody, whereas the Universal title was turned facing towards Roman Reigns.
I did see that.
Yeah.
But whether or not that leads to anything, we'll see. Roman then, after he lays those down, pulls out the Cody Rhodes plug here. So, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about you.
Yeah, that's what they did too. Honestly, I feel like this was probably the best promo of the week for any wrestling program.
Yeah.
Bar none. I know a lot of people I've seen were saying Roman kind of destroyed Cody in a way in this promo, but I felt like Cody held his own. He let Roman get his digs in, but Cody still fired back by the end of that promo as well. I mean, Roman saying that he was Dusty's other son, so as to speak, and that Dusty trained him everything he knew pretty much, but he was going to teach Cody any lessons that Dusty never did at WrestleMania, which to me just seemed like it put more fuel under the fire for Cody Rhodes, who says it's not just about ending the story anymore. He has to win at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I will say this. Yes, Cody Rhodes has to win. But go back 2 years ago. Edge had to win too and fell victim to the head of the table. So it's still up in the air what they could do with it.
I know, that's the scary part, unfortunately.
Yes.
But great promo, that's for sure. We go in from that. You get Rhea Ripley versus. Go ahead,
Shut
John. What?
I watched SmackDown with my wife. My wife loves mommy. Trust me. She enjoyed seeing that match.
I bet she did.
It's terrible.
Hey, Liv's got some offense in.
It's like at the end of the match with the little girl crying. It's all Rhea's fault.
I will say though, we've seen Rhea Ripley use that submission hold before, but not in that way. Not with having her knee on the back of the opponent's head like that.
You don't
That just
gotta
made it
remind
look-
me.
That made it look even more devastating. Fun little fact, though, for anybody who didn't see, Liv Morgan did meet up with that fan backstage afterwards, gave her a hug and a signature and all that stuff. So,
Oh yeah, I did
That
see
kid-
that on Twitter.
yeah,
Didn't she
That
also
kid-
offer
yeah.
them tickets to Mania?
they might have. I hadn't seen exactly everything that happened. So, all right. From there, there's a couple different times. I won't really go over it, but we get the Bloodline talking backstage. The main thing from all of that is that Roman says if Jey Uso doesn't show up next week on SmackDown, he's not going to be blaming Sami Zayn anymore for what's going on. He's going to be blaming Jimmy Uso for his brother not showing up. You get Rhea Ripley and Dominic backstage talking, and Santos Escobar comes in and says that he's going to teach Dom how to respect his elders, so as to speak, or to show respect towards his dad anyways. Which led into a match between Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio, who Santos wanted Dom to come out and face him one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Of course, Dom couldn't do that. Rhea Ripley had to be with him. These two actually had a pretty good match, I felt like. Probably one of the better singles matches for Dominic so far, in my opinion. I would be remiss if I don't mention the fact that early on in the match, first of all, mention Santos Escobar did bring out the Rey Mysterio mask that Rey did give him a couple weeks ago after SmackDown. He sat it up on the ring post because that mask has a big thing to play in this whole scenario. Dom was on the top rope, Santos Escobar behind him, talking about respecting Rey and that mask, and Dominic actually spit on that mask and said that he didn't respect his heritage and didn't respect the Rey Mysterio in that mask. Santos had a lot of good offense in this match. Like I said, this was one of Dom's better performances in a singles match. Unfortunately, in the end, as I think Santos probably expected, since he was trying to get Dom to leave her in the back, Rhea Ripley would play a part here and hit a riptide as the referee's back was turned onto Santos Escobar outside the ring. Throws him in. Dominic hits his crappy frog splash and gets the 1, 2, 3. Yes, showing a little disrespect towards his Uncle Eddie.
Yeah,
But
what would his real father, Eddie Guerrero, say?
Yeah. Don't come out with this Uncle Eddie. We all know the truth.
Sure.
We know he doesn't look like Rey Mysterio.
That's a Guerrero, 100%. Why else did he go to jail?
Andy couldn't.
He didn't go to jail. He went to prison. What are you talking about?
Same difference.
Angie couldn't resist Eddie's Latino heat.
Speaking of the whole jail thing, did you see the thing going around about how Dom was doing weights at prison? He's doing the whole workout, and then Sheamus and Drew just look at each other, look at him. It's like, what a pussy.
Nah, I haven't seen that. Makes sense, but I hadn't seen that. Anyway, Dom then stole that mask and ripped it in the aisleway, leading to his dad coming out, begging his son pretty much to give him the mask back. And Dom cheap shots Rey and then throws the mask down at his feet as Rey still won't put his hands on his son. Santos Escobar obviously wasn't happy. You can tell in the ring either about everything going on. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from there. I still wonder if we're going to get one-on-one Rey and Dom, or if they might include Damian Priest and Santos Escobar and make this a tag team match or something.
I feel like that's what's going to be, and I don't think it's right for the story. I think it's going to be a total
I don't feel like it is either.
blow.
I don't feel like it is either, but they got to have Priest on the show somewhere, you would think, and I don't know where else they're going to put him on the show, but
they're going to put him on SmackDown in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
They could. We'll see. Got a few weeks still. From there, they show Sami Zayn talking in the universe earlier in the show, hyping up the main event match coming up. Then we get quite a crowded segment as Drew McIntyre comes out first because he's wanting a shot at Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, leading to Sheamus coming out and calling Drew a backstabbing bastard. Because Sheamus wants that Intercontinental Championship. But Drew brings up a good point. Sheamus has had 2 opportunities, and he failed both times. Drew hasn't had an opportunity against Gunther yet. Which leads to LA Knight, of all people, coming out to the ring.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a WrestleMania in LA without
LA Knight.
Yeah.
That's all right. We got the Miz, so who gives a shit?
Awesome.
Of course, LA Knight's followed quickly out by the New Day.
New Day?
Mentioned how LA Knight's been crying and complaining and trying to talk his way into getting on to WrestleMania and crawling. Kofi did some crawling out there. Then eventually Karrion Kross and Scarlett come out, and then a brawl ensues. You get everybody going at it. That's pretty much what happened there. A brawl was everybody. The one thing to mention, though, Sheamus and Drew were just in there kind of bickering back and forth while everybody else comes out talking, too. They weren't paying no attention to anybody else. They were
You don't gotta look at me while I'm talking, but you gotta listen.
Right? All right.
Oh.
We'll get into what that leads to later, very soon. But next was supposed to be a tag team match in the women's division, but they show a video where Ronda Rousey apparently had gotten hurt. Shayna and Tegan were in a brawl backstage, and referees and agents had to pull them apart, leading to Shayna Baszler versus Tegan Knox. Yeah, it was a match. Shayna Baszler won with an armbar move. That was about all that's worth mentioning from it. Interesting that Tegan Knox came out to Natalia's theme song. I mean, Natalia was with her, but still, why they had Natalia's theme song instead of Tegan's, I don't know.
But Shayna came out to Ronda's as well.
Did she? That's thinking she.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yep.
They both should have came out to their own, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. Anyway, Caleb Braxton then talks with Imperium backstage. Gunther mentioning how it's disrespectful to him to not have a match at WrestleMania yet when he's the Intercontinental Champion and he wants to prove that the mat is sacred pretty much at WrestleMania. He's fitting of a big match at Mania, which we find out from there that those 5 of those guys that were in that brawl earlier, Drew, Sheamus, LA Knight, Kofi Kingston, and Karrion Kross will meet in a fatal 5-way next week with the winner going on to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Oh, sorry.
We'll see. From there, Bobby Lashley makes a surprise appearance on Friday Night SmackDown and calls out Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, he doesn't get Bray Wyatt. He gets attacked from behind by Uncle Howdy.
You better believe.
Right. Unfortunately for Uncle Howdy, though, Uncle Howdy would get himself taken down and out with a huge spinebuster from Bobby Lashley. He's probably lucky that he didn't get more than that the lights went out, since Bobby was poised for a spear there, too. But still not a huge fan of things going on there. We'll see where things go. But you can see why Brock said no to that currently.
See,
Brock did. Go ahead.
I wanted to see Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at Mania because I think that would have been a hell of a match.
Yeah, I even seen somebody mention on social media, hey, if Brock's saying he's going to quit or going to be leaving, finishing up, then give him enough money to make that match still happen at some point. Next year's WrestleMania or SummerSlam or something. If you're not going to do it this year WrestleMania.
I would have been happy to see Brock Lesnar versus a pretzel. You know,
Twisty.
Like, no offense. Like I said to you guys before, between WrestleMania season, you want to build up these matches that are supposed to be the big ones. It's the Bloodline and Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. That's the only thing. All the other guys are like saying, oh, wait, it's WrestleMania season? No.
Yeah, I get that. But,
sorry, I'm just very passionate about WrestleMania, and I think they're just falling short.
No, I get that. I feel that. Move on to the main event, of course, the SmackDown. You got Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn. Sami did go after Solo first. Jimmy gets a little involved before the match began. A pretty good match. You get the distraction that you figured you would, and Jimmy ended up costing Sami Zayn the match here, who gets hit with a Samoan spike by Solo. 1, 2, 3. Solo Sikoa wins the match. But it's more trife in the bloodline afterwards. Solo and Jimmy beating up Sami some. They get him down in the corner. Put the steel chair over his head. They're going to do the same thing to him that Solo did to Matt Riddle a couple months back. Except Jimmy stops Solo and wants to do it himself, which gives Sami enough time to take the chair off his head and throw it into the face of Solo and to take out Jimmy Uso with another haluva kick. Sami was going to use the chair on Jimmy some more, but Solo back up, dusts the chair towards Solo, and then Sami booked it out of the arena. That was pretty much the end of SmackDown as they show Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman in the back, not happy at all with what happened, what transpired there, as Jimmy was supposed to take care of the Sami Zayn problem.
Yeah, he failed.
So, Jey Uso has 1 week. Do we
They've
get
been saying
finally
that
the
the last 3
Usos,
weeks.
Sami Zayn? That's pretty much true. I think, though, next week we will finally get the start to the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, especially with the fact that this upcoming Monday on Raw, it will be Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa, and now it will be Jimmy Uso versus Sami Zayn on Raw. So I think either Monday night or next Friday, we will see the Usos back together and see Jay reunite with his brother, at least, if not with the entire bloodline. But we'll see.
WrestleMania spoiler. Sami Zayn cost Cody Rhodes the title.
That could happen. I hope to God not, but that could happen. All right. So, what's your guys' last thoughts and rating for SmackDown?
Johnny, I'm going to let you go first.
I'm going to 3 out of 10. And I feel
3 out of 10?
My bad, not 10. 3 out of 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 3 out of 5. My bad.
Okay.
I feel like I was disappointed because I want to know what the heck is going on with Jey Uso and the Bloodline. And it's all supposed to go down Friday. So I tune in to SmackDown with that in mind. And what do I get? A bunch of BS.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's going to get a 3 out of 5. And next week, if they pull this crap again, it will be a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
And you can't teach that.
Sorry about my phone going in and out my back.
It's all good.
You're good, Pedro.
I think I would personally have to agree with you. Probably a 3 out of 5 as well. The matches were pretty good, but still feels like they could have done more than what they did on the show. Again, like Raw.
Yeah. How dare they disrespect Liv Morgan that way?
That's my fault. Sorry about that.
You had to know going in that she was losing, though.
I knew,
Your
but
mind
it
goes
was
somewhere.
painful to watch.
I'm sure
There
it
you
was.
go.
Thank you.
Okay. You want my rating? And I know it's going to be a little devastated. I'm giving SmackDown a 1.5. Garbage. I'd rather watch the Discovery Channel than to watch that. It's the Bloodline and everybody else, and then it looks like a car wreck. Fix it up. Needs to be done. I love the Bloodline and Sami Zayn's story, but my God, it's not just them. We need to find out who Gunther's going to wrestle, and I hope it's Karrion Kross, because I would love to see that. But other than that,
I agree, John.
SmackDown garbage.
Fair assessment. All right. We'll move on to Rampage real quick, and then we're going to get into our Revolution predictions as the show starts here soon. Rampage had a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match to kick off the show. Aussie Open versus Top Flight versus ECC's Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, and then you got John Silver and Alex Reynolds. It was a mess of a Fatal 4-Way. I mean, it just felt like they're trying to throw the guys on TV again that were there for the Battle Royal, honestly. In the end, Wheeler Yuta sneaks in, getting rid of John Silver and pins Darius Martin with a roll-up. So wasn't much of a match worth mentioning otherwise. Riho would pick up another victory as she beat Emi Sakura in a pretty good match. Powerhouse Hobbs got a squash victory over Serpentico. Then the main event, which I felt like was the best match of the show. I mean, it wasn't great because of one of the people that was in it, still very green in my opinion. But still, when Swerve was in there, you can obviously tell he's the veteran of the team. Bruce Strickland, Parker Boudreaux going against Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee, naturally limitless. Keith Lee, man, we've seen him in NXT and WWE now before he came to AEW, but still, I am so impressed by some of the things that Keith Lee can do in that ring. He shows almost weekly more and more stuff that he can do that you can't believe a guy his size can do.
Right? I mean, no one that size should be doing that, but there's been so many people in the history of wrestling that have been the big guy that can still do small guy things.
Right?
Like, I mean, Bronson Reed.
Right.
Ivar.
Exactly.
Just to name a more recent few.
Yeah. It was nice to see Keith Lee and Dustin pick up the win there anyways. I kind of was expecting for the Mogul Affiliates' other goon to show up and cost him the match, but I was glad that he didn't. So. Keith Lee with the Big Bang Catastrophe on Parker gets the 1, 2, 3. Yay.
Yeah, let's all love
Yes.
Mini Brock.
Yeah, he still needs to get a lot more seasoning.
I still remember in the Royal Rumble when Brock Lesnar started out and won with eliminating everyone, then out came Keith Lee, and they put the camera on Brock's face. Who the fuck is this?
Yeah. This is a big guy.
Who's this big guy? I don't know
And
this
that's
guy.
one match. That's one match I really wanted to see too after that Royal Rumble and we never got was Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar. Could you imagine?
That would have been insane.
Okay, can we all laugh at Keith Lee looking like Skeletor with that cape?
It was definitely a look, that's for sure.
I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. But if I was to rate it, I'd probably give it a 2 out of 5 for Rampage.
He's going for a new look with that cape. That cape needs to be gone.
It's unique, that's for sure.
They could call him that name. That is it, the Black Cat that want to call him in WWE.
Bearcat.
Yeah, Bearcat. Yeah, they could call him that and have him wear a cape with a lion on the back of it. Jeez, that cape was like, oh my God, why?
They can make it more interesting and be like the movie. Now you got Cocaine Bearcat.
Yeah. Hell,
Jeez.
they could have had him all light up like Chris Jericho's jacket.
Alrighty.
I give it a 2 out of 5.
So, yeah, that's what I did too.
Oh my God, I think the weirdest one.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
Let's see if that loads here. All right, so now we got AEW Revolution, the 0 hour. I haven't refreshed it yet because they probably already had the match. They had Ari Daivari, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese on the 0 hour going up against the Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe in a 6-man tag match.
I mean,
sure.
you got to give it to the Lucha Brothers and Briscoe, 100%. I mean, there's nothing. It's got to be that.
Got to keep Mark's momentum going since what happened with his brother.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Let's see if that's got pictures there.
I have nothing to report anyway.
And it's very. I'm going to try and get through this real quick. It does.
I want to make sure it's all right with Jillian.
Anyway,
I put it on the group thing.
Eddie, you got any take on that 0 hour match, the 6-man tag trios match? Sorry.
I always, it wasn't something I was going to watch anyway.
Oh, shit.
All right. Then I'm gonna go in order just from how they've
If
got
it was called,
it listed on
if it was called
Christian
Sunday Night
Cage
Heat,
and
maybe I
Jungle
would have
Boy.
watched.
Fair.
Yeah.
You got Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry in a final burial match, aka buried alive match. It's the first match that they got lined up for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that's kicking off the show, but John, why did you look a little confused there?
I want Jungle Boy to win this, but I feel like somehow Christian's gonna win it. And as much BS as that sounds, I mean, you would think it's got to be Jungle Boy. It's got to be, but I feel something's telling me it's gonna be Christian winning. So, but I'm going with my instinct, and I'm gonna say Jungle Boy takes it.
Okay. Hey, we were right on the 0 hour match. Mark Briscoe and Lucha Brothers won the 6-man tag. The
Nailed
match.
it.
It's not my fault.
I mean,
Eddie,
yeah,
who you got in this final burial match?
I was gonna say the Undertaker, but he's not wrestling anymore.
Fair play.
Hands down, I want Jungle Boy to win, but knowing Tony Khan, he might want to extend it to a loser has a sleepover match or something. No, but I see I see Jungle Boy winning, but something's gonna happen. So, you know how it is. It's AEW and it's live.
It is. So where I'm going with it, I almost could see, since we haven't seen him since Christian returned, since Christian left, I could see Luchasaurus returning and actually costing Christian Cage the match here and helping Jungle Boy and teaming up with Jack Perry again, reuniting the team here, Jurassic Express.
Or
Yeah, I
just
got
buries both.
That's what I did today, both.
maybe. But either way, I still got Jungle Boy Jack Perry picking up the win because I feel like he needs a big singles victory here and to move past Christian Cage.
Are you really at Jersey Mike's right now?
I am. Hey, they like it. I just come.
Yeah.
Hey, I know.
All right. So the next match, you got Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. The Jericho Appreciation Society is banned from ringside. John and I kind of talked about this one before. I've got Chris Jericho winning because Ricky already picked up a win over Chris a couple weeks ago on Dynamite.
Let me show you who I got winning.
The Judas effect.
Yep. Going Jericho.
And he froze up. Oh, there he is. We got Jericho or Ricky Starks.
I got Jericho because I feel like Action Andretti might join the JAS.
Oh,
That's a
That
good
is
one.
nice.
That's nice.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Because Jericho,
Uh,
you noted for the past 2 weeks, Jericho has been talking about Action Andretti a lot.
Yeah, it kind of has.
What better way to get that kid a major star is be with the Ultra?
Yeah.
I see Jericho winning, but it's gonna be a swerve somewhere.
Right.
But
I agree.
it'd be nice to see it Action Andretti, but who knows? It's Chris Jericho. He'll find a way to win.
Agreed. There, you got the House of Black and the Elite for this World Trios tag titles. World Trios titles. This one
One-
is
one
tough, I
second.
feel like.
1 second. The Elite. Man, what I gotta say about the darn Young Bucks? Oh my God, let me tell you something. The biggest pile on. They're doing so wonderful, though. I mean,
John, when you did that pause, I thought you were going to turn off your light and say, "Welcome to the House of Black."
it's
Yeah,
funny
me
you say
too.
that because I'm going with the House of Black on this one, 100%.
Wow.
I got the House of Black too. No offense to the Elite, they don't need the titles. Their
I had to bring
management,
Busta in.
they know how good they are. You know, give Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Murphy a title because it will look really bad if Buddy Murphy don't bring home a title Arena does at WrestleMania.
It's okay. She's gonna bring Dom home too.
Oh yeah, well that is her prison bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've been back and forth between those two teams here, but I think I will agree. I'll go with House of Black winning the titles. I almost feel like it's too soon for the Elite to drop them, but I'd rather see them in a rivalry with another trio with those titles on the line at some point, but we'll see what happens. I'll go with House of Black. Ruby Soho, Soraya, Jamie Hayter, 3-way for the women's title. So my heart says Ruby Soho, but I'm going to go with Soraya picking up the win here.
This is how I feel about this match. AEW loves putting the titles on WWE stars. That's been proven so many times. And yes, my heart wants Ruby to get this win. But we all know it's built to this. It's coming to this. Soraya's getting the title.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Soraya's getting the title because I have a feeling that maybe Ruby turns on everybody and joins that group.
Possibly. Wouldn't be too surprising, honestly.
Yeah, but I see Soraya winning because, maybe for sympathy, because she hasn't had a title, due to her neck injuries. But, yeah. But I think it's too soon, but Tony Khan loves that dramatic.
He does. All right. Moxley and Hangman Adam Page, Texas Death Match.
Do I even have to answer this?
You do. There's going to be a lot
John
of blood.
Moxley. John Moxley. That's all I'm going to say. He's going to bring that Dean Ambrose side, that lunatic fringe, and he is going to, let's just say, lead Adam Page to the Hangman.
Well, the American Red Cross should be on hand to get a lot of blood.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, it's going to be one of the bloodiest matches. I just wish they called it a San Francisco death match because we're not even in Texas.
True.
The Bay Area bitch slap. I got Mox, hands down. I love to see me some cowboy shit, but Mox is on another level right now. Every match that he does, I swear, I'm surprised Renee don't say, "Would you stop bleeding?" But yeah,
he's good at.
I know he is, but I don't know, but yeah, I got Mox all the way.
I'm actually going to go the opposite way for once with you guys. I'm going with Hangman picking up a win here.
What?
I'm going with Hangman.
No, I
Hangman
got
getting much needed victory over Moxley.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I can be
I
wrong.
don't know how I
but
feel about
we'll see.
that.
Well, that's
After
okay.
that-
We'll move on.
After that match, you might need counseling.
That's
Maybe.
an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wardlow versus Samoa Joe for the TNT title.
Don't care.
I'm going Wardlow.
What?
Mm.
You what?
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 I don't care because I know it's going to be. I wish I want to say Warlow, but Joe's going to win, and then Joe's going to beat Hobbs on Wednesday night. I don't think they should have took the title off of Warlow, but it's AEW. Like you guys said, Tony Khan has a thing for WWE guys. You know,
Yep.
and you got to think of that. You know,
Right?
I think it's
Again.
going to actually be a decent match. But
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think Samoa Joe retains just for the fact he's a WWE guy.
Okay. That's two that we disagree on. That's okay though. This one we might all disagree on, but we might not either. You got Danhausen and Orange Cassidy versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus the Acclaimed versus the Gun Club for the AEW World Tag Team titles in the 4-way.
So silly. I'm gonna tell that to John.
mm-hmm.
Tony, why don't you go first on this one?
Everyone loves the
I don't want to lock it.
Acclaimed. I think the Acclaimed are winning back the gold.
So we consider
The Guns are going to be transitional champions.
You know, I'm going with what the heart wants. And as predictable as the match was, I think it'd be hilarious if it's Orange Cassidy and Danhausen coming out with the win.
Really?
Yes, I am dead serious. Could you imagine the pop if that happens?
Okay.
Yeah, it would be pretty loud, I guess. But
So I know you're
Orange already has the All Atlantic title. He doesn't need tag titles.
I have nothing to report.
Yep, I got Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, and then it's a battle between all best friends.
Another 45 minutes.
Ooh.
Yep, I mean, it'll be all.
Trent and Chuck versus Danhausen and Orange Cassidy eventually. I could get down for that. That would be interesting. Maybe see a heel turn for one of the two.
Okay,
See
can
Trent
you?
and Chuck in it.
Yeah, I see that Trent and guys turning on Danhausen and Orange Cassidy and going after the tag team titles.
Interesting.
Really appreciate
All right. I'll stick with the Acclaimed. You guys both stick with the best friends.
Yeah.
Main event time. Bryan Danielson, MJF, 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship.
how this is working out. I wish Stan would put it back up, really, because it's been helping.
Right.
I wish
Okay.
get you something or your mom.
I got MJF.
It's just, I'm just.
He's a guy.
I don't want to say it,
I don't know why they're gonna make
but
me
there's going to be
pay
a ref bump and somebody's going to come out and help him.
You know, that's why I wish the church would pay me. But I'm gonna go back to Cleveland.
Could happen.
You know,
Come back from my vacation.
it'd be nice to see Daniel.
Well, actually,
I keep calling him Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson. I see him doing what he has to do because he is the best wrestler. But yeah, I don't see. I see MJF screwing trying to do something screwing the last minute.
Okay. We got John.
I'm going to get so much crap for this. I am also saying MJF wins because I mean, the Iron Man match. You assume that
Brian Danielson.
Bryan Danielson,
$7?
easy win. This is his kind of match.
I'm sorry.
But I feel like
Apparently,
MJF can't lose because
They're good.
he's too arrogant and pathetic without a title.
12.
So I feel like there's going to be some shenanigans. And MJF's going to end up winning and retaining.
I don't think somebody's doing
Fair enough. I've got.
What a
No,
shocker.
I do not have Brian Danielson winning. I actually have MJF winning as well.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I would much rather see Brian Danielson win. But like you guys mentioned, I feel like there's going to be some shenanigans. This is his first title defense on pay-per-view. I don't see MJF losing it this quick.
I feel like MJF's going to have a long title run.
I don't know about long, because his contract is up at some point before the end of the year. So,
Well, by long, I mean like at least 5 months.
okay. It's been a few already, so.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to make it to at least like July or August before he loses the titles, what I think.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Should be an entertaining show, anyways.
It is.
It looks like perhaps the first match on there might actually be Jericho and Ricky Starks because they just switched that up to the top.
I could
on
see
the
that.
Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
usually I'd show what's.
You know, Jericho needs some of that little bit of the bubbly.
Brian Danielson actually was hoping to talk Tony Khan into letting him and MJF go first, but
No. Iron
because
Man
he was in
match
bed by
first.
8 o'clock last week. Yeah,
Iron Man match, you know it's going to be headlining, whether or not
Yeah,
the title was involved or not.
with that said, Revolution is on. Let me see. Is there anything worth mentioning? Got quite a few things mentioned for Raw. I mentioned the 2 matches, big matches that they've got announced for it. Oh, I can't forget talking about Raw. Monday night is in Boston, Massachusetts, home of and the return of John Cena, 16-time world champ,
It's John Cena!
and Austin Theory promises to confront John Cena in his hometown tomorrow night.
So John
It's just
Cena
leading
becomes,
to their match with each other, maybe.
so John Cena becomes another United States champion.
That is the theory.
I like what you did there.
Zing.
I'm sure Trish, Lita, and Becky will be there to celebrate tomorrow night too.
Oh yeah. And they are planning a turn for Trish, I heard.
Oh, that I hadn't heard.
Yeah, I heard that because I think I don't know, but it's going to be good because I heard that the women's championship is going to be defended, and they want the women's champions to wrestle on 2 nights.
Unique.
Oh,
Right.
here's some fantasy booking for Mania. Because I doubt this will happen, but it would be amazing if it did. Say Trish turns on Lita and Becky. Like, I have a partner and we're taking those titles. And then at Mania, Trish reveals who her partner is, and everyone goes crazy because it's freaking Mickey James.
Oh, that would be interesting. Not sure how much longer she's got contract-wise with Impact, but
Right. Still be one hell of a match.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And what would that do for Becky's career right there? Becky in a match with 3 legends. Yes, I'm gonna call
Make
Mickey
her
James
star even
one.
higher.
I mean, she had that moment with The Rock back when
Right?
she told Baron Corbin that her balls are bigger, that her balls are bigger than his.
Yep. I mean, she's
Back
had
when he
segments
was
with Cena too, and
Yep. I mean, I feel like this would be perfect because I'm going to say it right now. It might be like 10, 15 years down the road or so. But eventually, Becky's going Hall of Fame. 100%.
oh yeah.
Which is funny when you think about it. She was this little Irish lass kicker that almost was let go of the company. And now it's
Right.
one of the biggest stars they have.
Exactly.
She turned her whole career around, man. That's
Yeah, that
that shows
whole
how much
man persona did it.
that shows how much cojones she has.
Big
Right?
time cojones.
Exactly.
Becky's always been my favorite. Hopefully she gets a chance to wrestle for the NXT Championship to complete her, Grand Slam.
Hey, it could happen. I mean, Charlotte did win the NXT Women's title a couple years ago, so
Yeah.
you never know. Somebody actually posted when Becky and Lita won on Monday on Twitter. Somebody posted that she was a Grand Slam champion. I was like, wait a minute, no, she's not. She's a Triple Crown champion, not a Grand Slam because she didn't win that NXT title, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The only
Get
member
it
of the
right,
Horsewomen
people.
Only member of the Horsewomen that never won the NXT Women's title. But all 4 of the 4 Horsewomen have won the tag team titles now.
Yeah, ain't that strange? I mean,
So Sasha and Bailey were the original. Charlotte won it with Asuka at one point, and now Becky and
I
Lita.
forgot about that.
I figured from the look on your face, you're like, huh?
It's like, when
Charlotte?
did Charlotte win that title?
Yeah, short reign with Asuka. Speaking of Asuka, at least she knows what she's doing for WrestleMania too. So
oh yeah. No.
she's winning for the first time at WrestleMania, in my opinion, this year. And Bianca's losing for the first time at WrestleMania.
At least that should be how it happens.
Right. Could say that's not a prediction. That's a. Oh wait, I won't go there.
You leave the walrus out of it.
The Walrus?
The Walrus, yes, the Walrus. I mean, hey man.
Right.
No, but I feel like it's going to be a great WrestleMania season. Hopefully at WrestleMania.
Right. Just got to pick some things up.
I know. Hey,
Get a
but
little more speed going.
fellas, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a wonderful night.
You too.
And all that. And Johnny, I'll see you later, Cupcake.
All right. Hey, Pedro, you got any tots left?
No, I don't.
Did you give him to Tina the Fat Lard again?
Oh, come on. You know that. But thank you guys again. I appreciate doing this, and I love doing this, and I just want to say thank you again for this. I enjoy coming on and talking wrestling with you guys.
Anytime, you're always welcome.
All right, man. You guys have a good night.
All right, see you, Eddie.
All right, man. Bye.
All right, John, any last things you want to mention as we're heading still down towards the road to WrestleMania? I mean, I know Revolution's on right now. I'll get to that here once we get off the air watching that. But
I mean, I get that Triple H wants to do a smaller card, less talent.
Yeah.
But I feel like even with the smaller card, you could do like a huge match. Like it doesn't have to be like the Battle Royal, but think what they did back in 2014 where AJ Lee defended against like 11 other people in one match.
Something like that. Yeah.
You could do that with like,
I mean,
it doesn't have to be that many. But
honestly,
8-person match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with what they did on SmackDown Friday night with having those 6 guys out there. I was like, oh, maybe we'll actually get a 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's what I'm saying. That would be huge.
Yeah, and get all those guys on the card, and not to take anything away from Gunther, who should obviously get a singles match at WrestleMania too, but it doesn't have to be this year. He's got plenty of WrestleManias to go.
Oh, for sure.
Not take anything away from
future
Drew
world
and Sheamus.
champion too.
Oh yeah, I would believe that 100%.
I just hate the names. Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser. And
Giovanni Vinci.
Giovanni Vinci. Shut the fuck up.
I love the way she pronounces the names though on SmackDown. But
it'll always be Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner.
I know, right? And Walter,
of course. No, my bad. Walter.
Yes. Although Gunther has kind of grown on me a little bit, to be honest, but still. Oh, speaking of SmackDown-wise, they did mention Ricochet and Braun Strowman, as I figured, will be facing the Viking Raiders this upcoming Friday night. And then, what was the other match? They had 2 matches that they announced for SmackDown. Oh, yeah, the 5-way, duh. But the only problem is, from what I've read online since Friday, though, Kofi Kingston may have suffered an injury in that melee and might not be able to compete in that match on this upcoming Friday night's match.
Which means Xavier, oh my goodness, Xavier wins the match, and then Xavier versus Gunther at Mania, and then you have Big E return.
Yeah.
To help him win the match.
There you go. I like that idea.
It's fantasy booking at its best.
Yes, I'd agree. But
I will say, if they go that way and it ends up being Gunther and Xavier, there better be a Big E return. There's got to be something big going on, because that's a squash match.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. I don't think they had anything besides Powerhouse Hobbs versus the TNT champion. I don't think they really mentioned anything else for Dynamite this week, with the pay-per-view being right now.
Then NXT is going to be good next week.
Yeah, NXT's got Roadblock this upcoming week, which you got Braun Breaker teaming up with the Creed brothers to go against Indus Sher and Jinder Mahal. You got Roxanne Perez defending the women's title against Meiko Satomura. Let's see, what else do they got? Trying to think of all the matches. I know the promo we're going to mention. I don't think Wesley's got a title match going since he just defended it.
No, I'm sure I'll have like a promotional spot or something.
Probably. Yeah, I can't think of any other matches right off the top of my head for Roadblock. I should be able to.
So what do you think of this whole weird relationship thing going on between Briggs, Jensen, Fallon Henley, and then the other bitch?
The other bitch. I like how you put that. I feel like her claiming that this guy is her brother is a bunch of BS, and it'll end up being revealed that it's actually a boyfriend of hers. But
I don't think that's the real Zach though.
No?
I feel like it's a Zack Ryder.
Possibly. Who knows? But I still think that it's going to turn out bad for Brooks in the long run. So,
you want to know who I'm getting sick of on NXT?
Who's that?
Chase U.
Really?
I agree with Duke Hudson. Thea Hale has got to grow up.
Yeah.
He cannot be a little baby about everything because it's costing them matches.
That's true. It is. I can see where you're coming with that, but speaking of, I think that is another match that they do have. I think Chase U is supposed to go against, or that was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, they took on the Schism last week.
Yeah,
because
it seemed like they had something planned for. Or no, that's what it is. Andre Chase is going against Joe Gacy at Roadblock.
Oh, so Joe Gacy's going to beat Andre Chase at Roadblock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he's going to be too worried about Thea Hale.
Right. He's going to be freaked out by The Rock's daughter again. And of course, you got the Grayson Waller effect with Shawn Michaels as a special guest on Roadblock.
Does Gallows have a match scheduled for Roadblock?
I was trying to remember if they do or not. I know what they're heading towards, but I don't recall if. Let me double check. 1 second. Roadblock. NXT Roadblock 2023. What are you talking about, Willis? Open the page. There we go. No, because they got the women's title match, the 6-man tag. Oh, shame on me for forgetting that match. Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane. The implosion of toxic attraction is happening on Roadblock.
It's not important because JC Jane's going to get her ass kicked.
The Chase and Gacy, and then the other match is Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo in the Jailhouse Street Fight.
Jailhouse Street Fight.
Yep. It's what Tony wanted.
What, is Elvis Presley going to be there too?
Maybe. Who knows? Hard to tell. I'm sure Wesley will have vested interest in that match.
So
anyway.
I do have a question about a possible debut for another company. When is Jay White's contract up?
It already is up. He is a free agent.
Where do you think he would go?
That is a good question because I've seen so many different rumors of him possibly going to WWE and rumors of him going to AEW. I personally would love to see him in WWE. There's so many great matches that we could get between Jay White, like Jay White versus AJ Styles, for instance. Jay White and Finn Balor.
See,
got history.
There's the rumor that I've heard. It was a match. Jay White versus AJ Styles. But also, Carl Anderson chooses Jay White's side and Gallows sticks with Styles.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting.
Right?
Gallows and Anderson, of course, haven't been on TV that much since AJ went down with the injury either. But
exactly. But that'd be a way to get. I mean, I don't know how long Styles can be out. And people's like, the person that was talking about this said, it's very possible, depending on the severity of the ankle injury, that Styles could be back before Mania.
Yeah, last I knew, he's supposed to be back before Mania.
Why not have that be the Mania match?
Yeah.
Jay White, AJ Styles at Mania.
I can see it. I mean, if he misses it, it'll be AJ's first WrestleMania he's missed since he came to WWE. So.
Right.
Just like the Royal Rumble was the first Royal Rumble he's missed since he debuted at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. He had a hell of a debut in that match, too.
He did.
I mean,
Entered
coming
number
in at
3
number 3, yeah. Until Kevin Owens ruined everything. What a dick.
Damn KO.
Damn Canadians. Jeez.
Right. Anyway. Roadblock should be interesting, though. It should open up more towards Stand and Deliver as we get closer to Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania Saturday. So,
Right.
I mean, they don't even have a single match booked currently for Stand and Deliver. So they got to start booking some of those. I honestly, when the Creed brothers were talking backstage on NXT last week about how they had to find a partner to face Indus was originally thinking before they showed him talking to Damon Kemp and then Braun doing it. This is where they could bring Roddy back. Roderick
That
Strong.
would make sense, though.
Right? And then Braun Breaker had to come in and ruin everything. I was like, man, I was hoping Roderick Strong would have returned there. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. I know at one point there was talks that he wanted out of his NXT contract, WWE/NXT contract.
I mean, there's one person I want to know where the hell he is. And I'm going to keep looking to find him. You know, I have to go all the way to the moon and back.
Cameron Grimes! Rumor has it, booking doesn't have anything for him at the moment. They're trying to figure out what to do with him on the main roster before debuting him.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you what they do with him. Wyatt 6.
Possibly.
What? That is some BS.
Exactly. What? Ricky beat Jericho? Doesn't have the time on there, but that's what it says. Ricky Starks beats Chris Jericho by pinfall.
What the? Oh my God.
I thought for sure Jericho was getting his revenge there somehow.
Yeah, but holy shit.
I wasn't going to pay to watch that pay-per-view anyways, but I mean, since we're still live on the air right now, I'll give out some spoilers while that's going on. Oh.
I will say this is a good lineup. You want to know why?
Why?
Because there's no damn Jade Cargill.
I'd agree. Very much so agree. Don't need the TBS champion.
Right. Still can't believe Starks pins Jericho.
I was not expecting that. I mean, that's great, but I still was not expecting that. Great for Ricky. There's not many men that have beaten Chris Jericho more than once in AEW. Orange Cassidy, and actually, I don't think even Orange pinned him twice. I think Orange beat him in that. Pinned him once and then beat him in the orange juice or orange whatever match that it was, knocking him into the orange drink. I don't think he pinned him that match.
Yeah, he didn't put him in that.
Trying to think if there's anybody else that's really pinned Chris Jericho or made him submit. Well, not made him submit. Well, there's one person that's made Chris Jericho submit recently. That was in an AEW, though. That was Ring of Honor.
Didn't Moxley put him twice?
He may have. I was thinking Mox might be about the only other person that's pinned him twice. So I know Jericho hasn't really lost a whole lot in AEW. So he's got time on there. He might not show a time till later. Yeah.
That's still insane,
All
bro.
right. All right. Unexpected, that's for sure. Oh. All right. So I did our blocks that way this week. Usually do classic like that. Last week we did bubble. Could do that one next week, but I might just go back to bubble instead.
The Buble.
Buble, yeah.
We gotta keep it like Otis. It's Buble.
Buble. Gotcha. All right. What's next? Did they say yet? Nope. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Hopefully there'll be a lot more things revealed for WrestleMania wise this week anyway, and Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, like something Hall of Fame wise.
I'm almost worried that they're not going to end up doing one. That there's really no internal talks about it right now. They might just be deciding to skip it this year for some reason.
I mean, it's possible with like all the so-called talk about selling the company. Maybe bringing new Hall of Fame people might like jeopardize that or something.
Possibly. Now, some people were saying, I think I've seen reports that Kevin Nash was saying Vince is putting the price tag too high to sell because he doesn't really want to sell.
I heard that I don't know if it's a rumor now, but I heard that the closest one right now was Disney.
Possibly. I heard Comcast / whatever they groups with them fell out, decided not to buy them, and some other company decided against it, that it was too high the price.
Because Disney was saying, because one of the stipulations Disney had was if they were to buy it, then they would want all the streaming service to go to Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
And Vince wasn't about to do that.
Right.
Because of how
much
it would NBC was paying.
Yeah, that's got to put them in a little bit of a tough spot because you still want to keep good partnership with NBC to keep Raw on USA Network and NXT on USA Network. And if Disney bought them and wanted the network, WWE Network, over on Disney Plus, that would be good. But you still got to keep good with USA.
I mean, there are countries in the world where Disney Plus does have WWE Network.
Oh, are there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like in the Oceania and Indonesia and all that.
Oh,
Philippines, that area.
I mean, more people I feel like probably have Disney Plus than what they do Peacock anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone has kids, and then you got like people like our age that all the stuff we grew up with Disney wise, we can rewatch and all that, so it makes sense.
Right.
And then you got like all the Star Wars series and all this other new stuff. You can watch all the Marvel movies in one place. It makes sense to have Disney Plus. Where Peacock, unless you watch shows on Peacock or movies that are going to be on there for a while, it's not that much sense.
Right. I mean, I only watch WWE Network on it, so I have paid the $9.99.
I'll go through like some old like TV shows and like binge watch that, but I mean, there's really like so my wife is from Illinois and she's seen all the Chicago shows.
Yeah,
I had never seen them from the beginning, so I used Peacock and watched from the beginning. And I'm glad I did because now I understand a bunch of crap.
My sister watches all those. I've never sat down and watched a single episode of any of the Chicago shows. But Nothing against them. I mean, it looks like they got
Right.
good cast, but
Oh, they have an amazing cast. And like, there's been like so many people that you recognize from, like, so I didn't get this, but remember the show Sex and the City?
yep.
So Steve, the weird, creepy, nerdy dude, Steve,
Yeah.
is one of the firefighters on Chicago PD. I mean, not PD, Chicago Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the funniest character on that. I keep telling my wife anytime something happened to him, they kill him off, I'm done with the show.
To know who you're voting for. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
who you're watching.
Huh?
All right.
But I mean, there's some good, like, old TV shows. Like, I grew up watching Friday Night Lights, and that's on Peacock. So,
Yeah, I watched it.
Well,
That show too.
I mean, there's not much other stuff on there, though. I mean, yeah, if you don't see Young Rock live, you can watch it the next day without commercials.
Next day, really? I didn't realize it was that quick. But
Yeah.
I only seen the first season of that show so far. I should catch up on the rest.
You're behind. You need to get on
I am.
Peacock and watch.
No, they're on season 3.
I know. They already finished season 3.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they're in between 3 and 4 right now.
Gotcha.
I don't know how much further they're going to go, but it's awesome.
Yeah, still the show. Okay. Yeah, I know. I enjoyed Young Rock the first season that I did watch, but I just never. Once they moved the days that it was on and times and everything, it's like,
Yeah.
because it is on
So-
Fridays now. Or was.
Did you hear who they have playing Cyndi Lauper?
Yeah, Becky.
And she does a freaking amazing job at it.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen pictures from different episodes and stuff, so I know who's playing.
Even the
most of
guy
people.
they have playing Dusty Rhodes. I mean, it is spot on. Down to the list.
Nice. Hey, Roman had a pretty good Dusty.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he did have a good Dusty impression.
Yeah. Not great, but it was still pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty good for Samoan.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're just bantering about stuff here, and I'm still on the air. I think we could probably end this, and if we still want to banter, go from there. All right. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Maybe not time wise, but maybe go for 7:00 ish next Sunday. Yeah. This Sunday I could start a little bit earlier because we didn't have anywhere to go after work, so I just came home and got some food right away. So
Okay.
let's go for 7 next Sunday.
Sounds like a plan.
Just keep me updated if not anything else.
All right.
That. Hope if anybody that watched this enjoyed Revolution, if you watched it, enjoy all wrestling this week. We'll catch you guys next week.